Story 1. Minimum balance fee in my checking account. We are going to charge you an extra fee. Story 2. I sincerely believe the internet should be treated as a public utility. There should be a basic free speed that is accessible in areas with infrastructure. Much of modern life almost requires internet access. I also feel that internet bills often lack transparency, especially since there is frequently no competition among providers. Customers are often required to sign contracts or face costs that can be double the standard rate. Story 3. I have heard that in the United Kingdom you need to pay for a television license. I am not sure if it is still required, but I have always thought that it was quite unfair. Story 4. Water bill. Usage, $18. Sewer fee, $120. Maintenance, $50. Additional fee, $80. Total, $250 to $300. Story 5. The constant issues with the cable and internet bills start with a deal that keeps increasing until you call and complain. Then they offer a discount for 12 months. Rinse and repeat. Story 6. From this company, if I receive a digital bill, I incur a convenience fee of $2. If I receive a paper bill by mail, I incur a $2 administrative fee. Story 7. Insurance. It's legitimately a scam. I can pay hundreds of dollars to insurance every month, but the second they need to uphold their end of the bargain, they just refuse. It is, in every definition of the word, a scam. Story 8. Insurance for sure. I pay all this money just in case something happens to my car. But when something does happen, you increase the premium on my monthly payments. Story 9. I do not pay monthly, but I have to purchase an annual parking pass at work to park in the lots owned by the company. It costs only about $15 a year, but it frustrates me that they charge employees to park in their own lots. Story 10. Home internet is limited because the internet service provider industry has lobbied, paid, and legislated its way into low competition with no justification, allowing them to seek profit without accountability. Story 11. Insurance of any type. Why am I paying $300 a month and never use it? I mean, I'm happy not to, but it still feels like I'm wasting money. Story 12. Electricity is a completely absurd situation. These are not public utilities operated at cost. Instead, they are local monopolies that are allowed to extract money to buy yachts and other excessive items, with no consumer choice involved. Story 13. Itemized processing fee or billing fee. It is an infuriating charge since it is essentially billing you for billing you. Story 14. I buy the printer and pay a subscription for the ink, which gets refilled automatically when I run out at no extra charge. However, if I miss a monthly payment, they can disable my printer until I resume payments. How can they turn off something I already own and paid for? Story 15. We, the taxpayers, paid for all the infrastructure that companies are charging us to access. They should be compensating us for delivering advertisements and other content over the networks we funded. Story 16. My hospital bill. What do you mean I paid the premium from my paycheck, paid my copay, and now I have a bill? You are receiving the minimum. Story 17. Health insurance for a family of 5 costs over $2,000 a month. This amount excludes copayments for doctor visits and medications. Story 18. U.S. cell phone plans are not worth the money. Discover the benefits of WhatsApp. I haven't had any type of plan for years. It is Wi-Fi based, so if you have locked yourself into needing your phone constantly, this may not be for you. My sister thinks I've lost my mind and has told me that only scammers use it. That's not true. Normal businesses use it, and we use it to message and call each other without paying hundreds of dollars each month. A personal benefit is that I have the choice of when to respond. Sometimes I leave my phone at home while I'm out running errands. If someone leaves me a message, I can get back to it at my convenience. Story 19. Internet services, especially on fiber optics, have seen remarkable advancements. A researcher discovered a method to utilize the wasted space in fiber optic cables, resulting in incredibly fast download speeds. The best part is that it incurs no additional costs for the service providers since the infrastructure is already in place. This technology can achieve speeds up to 1.2 million times faster than average broadband. Story 20. Apartment valet trash fee is $30 a month. I would prefer to have that $420 a year refunded and take out my own trash. Story 21. My car insurance. I understand that insurance is important. What frustrates me is the discrepancy between the amounts they charge to cover their operating fees and what they actually charge. During the COVID-19 pandemic, they sent a letter stating, "Since everyone is struggling, we will charge you the absolute minimum next month." It was $20. My normal bill was around $100 at that time. That $80 difference was likely going to some executive to fund his 20th luxury car or his ski chalet in the Swiss Alps. Story 22. My cable bill. Despite signing a yearly locked-in price, my rate seems to keep going up. I am now paying $180 a month for internet, cable, and a DVR. Nothing extra. Story 23. Health insurance costs me over $1,000 a month, and I can't even remember the last time I visited a doctor. It has literally been years. Story 24. Nothing gets me fired up like pet rent. You're telling me that my 2 chihuahuas are going to cause enough damage to warrant an $800 deposit and $70 a month? Story 25. I forgot the term for the fee associated with not using paperless billing. Additionally, there is a monthly fee for using an electronic toll collection system. Story 26. Health insurance. Insurance companies are profiting while contributing little to the healthcare process. We do not have a healthcare crisis in the United States. We have a health insurance crisis. Story 27. We are required to install solar panels on our new build due to California law passed in 2018. We pay the solar lease monthly and receive an annual bill from the electric utility for underproduction. Overall, we likely pay more for electricity than non-solar residences. Story 28. My pension contributions. Come on, I am clearly not going to live long enough to see a pension. Story 29. Childcare can be expensive, and you still pay the daily rate even if there is a public holiday and the center is closed or if your child is sick and does not attend. Story 30. Car and home insurance are mandatory. You pay substantial amounts for coverage, often exceeding any claim you might receive. Additionally, you must cover a deductible to access your insurance after paying premiums. When you file a claim, the process can be challenging, and after a claim, your rates typically increase or your policy may be canceled, forcing you to find a new provider that may charge even more. Insurance companies frequently raise rates annually due to inflation, despite the fact that, for car insurance, the value of vehicles decreases and repair or replacement costs are lower. I have not filed a claim in 14 years and have not received a traffic ticket in 18 years. I have owned the same car for 14 years, and it has likely devalued significantly. I have also never filed a home insurance claim, yet my premiums continue to rise. This industry feels entirely like a scam. Story 31. Insurance, I pay for coverage, but when I need the service, I end up being charged more. Additionally, everything that insurance covers increases in price. I wish it would be abolished. Story 32. I pay a lot fee for the community I live in. The only thing it covers is the occasional mowing of the lawns in public areas, and then I receive complaints if I don't park in the driveway. I can only assume someone is benefiting at the expense of the others. Story 33. The water bill is based on usage. If you watered the lawn last year for new sod, you are now paying double for your water usage regardless of the amount for the next year. Story 34. That's the broadcasting fee of around €18 per month. The fee is intended for providing quality TV programs. However, the way these programs are currently aired means that I do not have access to any television until I purchase a new smart TV or a similar device. Additionally, the content often lacks quality and feels more like government propaganda. Story 35. Health insurance can be expensive, especially when covering an entire family. It is frustrating to pay a significant amount for coverage, only to face additional costs for necessary medical care. Story 36. Inmax has random delivery fees and taxes added to variable rates, even for those on a constant plan. It's a mess. Story 37. My water bill is the same amount every month, down to the cents. We are a household of 3 and do 4 loads of laundry a week, load the dishwasher 2 to 3 times a week, and shower nightly. We are gone all day until about 6 p.m., and nobody is home from Monday to Friday between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m., so I know that no one is showering, running the faucets, or flushing the toilet during those hours. We do not water our grass, just the plants for about 5 to 10 minutes on medium every night. We should not pay over $80 per month. Our bill even states a minimum monthly charge of around $60. So I know we are not using that much water. So yes, my water bill. Story 38. My apartment complex does not allow deliveries to your door for safety reasons. However, you can pay a small monthly subscription to use the delivery locker system managed by a third-party company at the front office. This situation frustrates me because I previously had deliveries sent to my workplace. I started paying the fee for the convenience, but I am still very upset about it, even though it is only $3 per month. Story 39. I pay a high fee on my water bill for stormwater runoff. There isn't a city drain within 2 miles of my house. Property drains into a natural salmon spawning creek. I am essentially paying a tax for rain falling into the creek. Story 40. There is a property management company in my area that charges tenants each month for a resident benefit package. It is not optional. This package includes perks such as a discount on electrical service from a provider that does not operate in this area, the ability to pay rent online without extra fees, and a discount on eucalyptus bedsheets. Story 41. While China is working to make electricity more efficient and affordable for its entire country, we in the state of North Carolina are facing challenges from the state energy monopoly that continues to raise electricity prices, and we feel powerless to change the situation. Story 42. I can't help but feel that rent is outrageous. It's not just the fact that one has to pay it, but the amount they are asking. I am living in a house that was built long before I was born. It is far from being well maintained, yet the rent takes a large portion of my paycheck. Most of my earnings go to rent. This is the cheapest option available, which makes it even more frustrating. Story 43. Niche, but the Con Edison delivery fee isn't that the whole point of what I'm paying? For you to deliver electricity to my apartment. How is each apartment in the same area and building so drastically different in price? Story 44. The amount of council tax I pay is significant. I live in a small flat that consists of 3 rooms and a garden. I receive a single occupancy discount of 25%, yet I pay more than my friend who lives just 1 minute down the road in a 2-bedroom house with a family. Despite this, my flat falls into a higher council tax band. Parts of the council tax, if I understand correctly, include costs for groundwater removal. Both my flat and the one directly above are being charged for these services, which seems unfair, as it was originally a single house. As a result, we are effectively double paying. Story 45. A car company, I believe it was Bentley, proposed charging a monthly fee for the use of seat warmers. Story 46. In Germany, every household must pay a fixed monthly fee to fund state-regulated television channels and radio stations, even if they do not own a television or radio and have never watched these channels. Story 47. Car insurance is mandatory, but insurance providers will do everything they can to avoid paying out. It is a racket. Story 48. Anything where basic features cost extra, such as playing sound with your phone screen locked and YouTube Premium. Story 49. In Georgia, we have a unique deregulated natural gas system where we must negotiate our rates with one of 15 providers and enter annual contracts. If we do not, we face high rates and must pay a monthly fee along with the Atlanta gas light charge for using the gas lines. Often, the fees associated with the gas lines exceed the actual gas cost. During the summer, the sales tax on these fees can surpass the gas charges. Story 50. Canada used to have a $9.95 mandatory government fee on all cell numbers, but it was not mandatory at all. Story 51. The 2% technology fee on my rent amounts to $80 a month, so I can pay my bill online. Of course, I cannot opt out of it. It's a scam. Story 52. Here, they deregulated the electric power market a couple of decades ago. They split it so that the power is produced or purchased by a company that you sign up with, and you pay for your consumption. You can choose among many companies, but they all buy power at about the same cost, so there isn't really much of a difference between them. However, the infrastructure was essentially given away to other companies, and since there is only one power grid, they maintained a local monopoly wherever they owned the power grid. These companies have raised their prices several times since they received this gift from the government at the time, and the only way to switch providers is to move to another city. They keep complaining about maintenance costs going up, but they don't seem to invest anything in maintenance. Power usage has steadily declined for many decades, yet they continue to add peak fees and raise costs everywhere. I live in an apartment, so I don't use electricity for heating and can't charge an electric vehicle. My power usage is about $20 a month, while the infrastructure cost, which is essentially rent for the power lines to my home that the company received for free and hasn't upgraded for decades, is about $80 a month. That is a scam. Story 53. My electric company charges me close to $30 for having solar panels and another $25 customer fee. That totals $55 in fees every month for something I need. Story 54. I live in a new estate in the UK, and I pay a monthly fee. Ostensibly, it's for services that the council does not yet provide, such as bin collection and maintenance of streetlights. On its own, fair enough, I guess. But my council tax is not any lower. Additionally, the fee is for improvements to the area, including a children's playground, an artificial sports pitch, a basketball court, and a skate park. Although these facilities will be accessible to the public, I have no idea when I will ever use them, as I do not have children and have no current intentions of having any. There is also a leisure center being built. I asked if I would end up as a part owner of it or if I would receive a free membership, given that I am partly paying for it. The answer was no. The redeeming factor presented is that these improvements to the community will likely increase the value of my house. It still seems a bit questionable, as if I want to buy a house there, I have to opt into this fee. Story 55. Any insurance. Not because I don't understand the principle of what if X happens, but because they are completely incentivized to lowball and deny, even when X happens. It feels like I'm paying them to bribe politicians and make television advertisements, but that's it. Story 56. I get 7 megabits per second on a good day for £22. Fiber and similar services are only a couple of pounds more. If prices were based on guaranteed speed, it would be much fairer. The frustrating thing is that the fiber is already connected to the telegraph poles right outside, and they just need to complete some final work. It has been like this for 2 months. Story 57. I have been working in Portland for the past 15 years. The only time I received a raise was when my bosses sold the company to someone new. I still haven't been able to make rent without selling drugs. I was very upset when marijuana was legalized, as it negatively impacted my earnings. I work 60 hours a week and cannot afford rent without engaging in illegal activities, so I am involved in selling fentanyl and cocaine. Story 58. The extra fees on my garbage bill, including the fuel and environmental recovery fee, the solid waste management tax, and the county solid waste management fee, nearly double the advertised monthly rate. They also recently added a mandatory organic waste processing fee that every resident must pay, even if they do not have an organics bin that gets picked up. Every 3 months, this adds over $100 in extra hidden fees. Republic Services is the worst. My city also refuses to establish a citywide contract, claiming it promotes competitive pricing from various haulers. I do not see how it could possibly be cheaper to have multiple companies picking up garbage compared to the advantages of a single negotiation for a lower rate with one company for the entire city. Story 59. Insurance involves paying premiums, while providers often work to minimize payout in the event of a claim. If a claim is made, they may increase your rates to recover the costs, and coverage is typically mandatory. Story 60. Private mortgage insurance on a mortgage. In many places, it is unreasonable for someone to save 20% for a down payment on their first home while also paying rent. Story 61. A separate bill for sewer fees feels unnecessary. I understand that I should contribute for the wastewater I generate, but it seems more appropriate for this fee to be included in my water bill. Story 62. Any banking fee within the system seems like a scam, but if you want to be part of society, you have to participate. Story 63. For some reason, I have been charged by Microsoft despite the fact that I stopped using Microsoft services over 5 years ago. Story 64. Oh, the utility bill is certainly a concern. I'm not home for days at a time and leave everything unplugged. However, I receive the same bill every month. It doesn't help that people often tamper with the meters in the area. Story 65. My cell phone, internet, and cable company sends me 2 bills because my internet and cable are connected through a phone line. Therefore, I receive a bill for my cell phone number and another for my internet and cable service. Story 66. In Ontario, Canada, our hydro bills come with a delivery charge. This is often several dollars more than the actual electricity usage. It's completely unreasonable. Additionally, when we pay our property tax to the city, they charge us $5 for paying online. Charging people just to pay their bill is unfair. Story 67. Hydro delivery charge. I had an 80.00 hydro bill with an additional 120.00 delivery charge. There is no delivery charge in Toronto, but they continue to disadvantage rural customers. Story 68. Car insurance. I have not had an accident that was my fault in my entire time of driving, which is approximately 33 years. I have only had 2 accidents during that period where the other person was completely at fault. That should be free for me by now. Story 69. My electric bill is high. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and my usage is between $30 and $35 a month. However, the bill totals over $110 each month due to various fees. Story 70. There should be free access to the internet by now. I am not suggesting that there shouldn't be premium options, but free internet enhances the potential for everyone. Story 71. Insurance is a system that operates under the guise of capitalism. Individuals pay taxes every month, while a central authority determines the distribution of benefits. Story 72. I am paying high car insurance despite not having had an accident for almost 8 years, and they continue to increase my car insurance every year. Story 73. My utility bill is frustrating. I need it, but the way my energy provider's website is set up, I can't even access my account. This has been an ongoing issue for years with the company, and I keep having to call and complain or pay over the phone. Story 74. Never in my life have I paid a water bill. If I moved to a place that has one, I would find it strange to pay for something that should be readily accessible. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.